Hello everyone, Denise here. Today I'm going to show you how to make some stitch markers that look like tiny hanks of yarn. Let's get started. So you will need some yarn. You will need some sort of clasp to make your stitch marker. You can choose whatever end you like. There are lobster claw clasps. There are different kinds of earring clasps like these. I'll show you some in my set here. This one has lobster claw clasps in it right here. If it will focus. There you go. There are several different sizes of that kind. There are different earring clasps as well. And this is sort of an oblong one. I prefer the round ones because they're easier for me to open when I'm working on my project. So that is what I'm going to show you today. This set that I got on Amazon, this isn't sponsored, and I didn't get these for free. I paid for this with my own money, but I did get gold. I received silver. This is a rose gold. This is the regular gold. And then there's an antique color. Now with those clasps came jump rings that are of the same color. So the yarn that you will need, I'm using some size 1 yarn. So any sock yarn would do. This is cotton collage, super fine, #1. This is a premier yarn. It is 246 yards, 225 meters, 1.75 ounces, 50 grams, 46% cotton in this, 33% superfine merino wool, and 12% polyamide, 9% PBT. So you will not need the entire skein of yarn. So if you have sock yarn laying around or cotton thread, this would be perfect for that. I am going to snip off 18 inches of my yarn, and that is what I'm going to use to make one of the stitch markers. Now it doesn't sound like much, and it isn't, but remember, stitch markers are fairly small. We don't want them large, and you can make it larger if you'd like, but you do want your stitch markers to be somewhat small so that it's not bulking up your project. So that's just an example of a regular stitch marker. So you want it to be sort of that small. So you will need, like I said, the earring or lobster claw, whatever clasp that you want to use, and then jump rings. So I am going to use probably 2 jump rings and 1 clasp. The other thing that is really useful, and I don't even know how I would work making stitch markers without tools like these. So these are smaller needle nose pliers, and you can pick needle nose pliers up at any hardware store. These are specifically rounded for jewelry making, and that will help with if you need to round wire. I don't necessarily need that in this project. However, I will use these to help me open up the jump ring. Okay, so once you have everything that you need, then you need to cut a section of your yarn. I'm using 18 inches each on my stitch markers. And I'm going to wrap them around my 3 fingers here. You can wrap them around whatever you'd like. And then once you get to the end, you need to tie them together so that it does not come apart. And I'm only tying them once because I don't want a big knot to try to hide. So I'm going to tie it once and snip the ends off so that they won't show either. Okay, so I came undone from my wrapping. So I'm going to snip off my ends and then rewrap so I can twist. I'm going to get it a little close so it's easy to hide. Okay, so I'm just going to twist them around my fingers. And then, there we go, that'll work. Now I'm going to twist, twist, twist with a crochet hook, holding at one end. I'm going to twist with the other until the yarn starts to turn on itself like a hank. There we go. And then I'm going to twist this end of my finger a couple of times, maybe, no, just once. And then I'm going to pull that through so that we can turn this into a hank. just like that. Straighten out your end a bit. That looks like it'll work. I'm going to leave that on there for a second, and I am going to get my jump ring. And these tools, the needle nose pliers, are very useful for holding. If you don't have two of them, a lot of jewelry sets will offer rounded ones, and we're not rounding anything, but this will help open up the ring. So I'm going to grab the ring, hold it with my needle nose pliers, and we are going to gently, with the right hand, pull toward yourself so that you open up the ring. Put that aside a minute. Okay, so it's open just a bit. Now we're going to take this, we're going to take it off the crochet hook, and we're going to put the loops that we just took off the crochet hook, we're going to put that onto this ring. Once we get those loops onto the ring, what I like to do is add a tiny bit from this part here so that the tiny hank doesn't fall down on itself. So I'm going to get the first part in there, and then I'm going to slide this up and grab a couple of those loops and just gently put them on there. And then reposition that so that you're able to work again. Okay, so now with this open and our little hank on there, we're going to grab our clasp, whatever clasp that you have, and you're going to be mindful of the way you're putting it on because this isn't going to turn a lot. So if you want them to look the same, if you're wearing them as earrings, then you want to pay attention to what side your clasp is on. So I'm going to put it facing away from me. I'm going to use these as stitch markers, so it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to take this again, do what we did before except in reverse. We're going to close that ring by gently pushing it the other way, lining it back up with the other side of the ring. Yep, that's closed. So if it needs a little straightening, go ahead and straighten it. Push it back together. There you have one hank stitch marker. Okay, now we're going to do that again. Taking the same length of yarn, in my case is 18 inches, and I'm going to wrap it around those same 3 fingers. It doesn't quite make it, but as we noted before, it all fell apart anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and tie it. This one might also be a tiny bit shorter, who knows? I am human. I do make mistakes. Make that pretty tight. And then I'm going to snip off the ends, just so that they do not show in our tiny hank of yarn. Okay, twist it around my fingers, 3, even it out. I'm going to position this a little to the side, and then take that crochet hook. Any crochet hook will do, but a smaller one helps. Twist it till it starts twisting on itself, and it is. Then we're going to take this end, we're going to twist it. I twisted it once, but this feels like it needs it twice, so I'm going to do it twice, and then pull this end through this end. Just like that. We're going to let it fasten or form on itself to be a little hank of yarn. If you need to put a little dab of glue there to hide that knot, you sure can. Or just refold it, however you want to do. And I'm going to lay it down by the other one. I'm going to grab my other ring. I'm going to open it up like we did the other one. And if you wanted them to turn, you would just add another ring in between. So you would put one on your hank, and then you put another one on, and then the ring. But I don't care if it dangles. I'm okay. These aren't going to be earrings for me. Again, you want to open it up gently. So with this hand, you're going to pull against toward you. Open it up. Going to take this off of its crochet hook and put those loops on our ring, just like the other one. And I'm going to grab a couple of those loops from here so that it does not fall down. I may need help. What can I use? I have some tweezers here. I will try those, because it already did fall down a bit. So I'm going to take a couple of them so that they can loop up on the ring. Now I'm going to take my other jump ring and I'm going to put it on here, facing it away from me. Clasp that way because that's the way I did my other one. I want to be consistent. And then close the ring up, just like we did before. And then we have 2 stitch markers, and like I said, you could wear these as earrings because these are earring backs or earring clasps. So that is how you make a tiny skein stitch marker. Now let me show you the difference between the actual earrings that I made in my other video and these, and you can make them any size you want just by using what you wrap it around. It can be smaller, it just makes it harder to fold in itself. You can make them larger if you don't mind them being a little more bulky on your project. So these are the earrings that I made, and they are much bulkier, as you can see. And you can make them that big. You just would wrap more yarn around your fingers to do that. And these, my earring size was approximately 1 yard of the cotton collage yarn, and this is 18 inches. You can see the difference there. This is a yard and this is half of a yard, so that is the difference. So you can make them as big or as small as you like. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate you, and until next time, guys.